It's been almost 1 year since that. Our next guest called Super Bowl 58 next to SpongeBob and Patrick and my favorite person, Nate Burleson. And now you can hear him calling NFL and big college football games for NBC Sports. Ravens-Texans on Netflix on Christmas Day. Noah Eagle, welcome to the program.
Okay, I appreciate you having me. You know, SpongeBob and Patrick actually invited me back to Bikini Bottom, but they haven't bought my ticket yet. So I still don't know how to get there. I still don't know the correct route. So we're figuring it out one day at a time.
Maybe that'll be a Christmas gift for you. You and I get to work together in some capacity. There's about 25 of us, a new family.
Yeah.
There's familial ties, of course. There's work family ties, but it'll be so exciting to sort of do this for the first time together. And no better way, by the way, to prep for a Christmas game than to call the game, including both of the teams, on Saturday, which you did. Texans Chiefs for NBC. I know the stories, you know, by the way, I loved how I was at the game, so I didn't listen, but I went back and listened. You're like, Mahomes will be fine. And of course, he comes out and he's fine. The story to me was all of a sudden he's got these receivers. Hollywood, DeAndre, Xavier. What do you make of that?
Yeah, definitely a different look. And we were at practice earlier in the week and saw Hollywood Brown and saw how they might try to integrate him. And it was a clear emphasis to get him involved. And Patrick was very clear with us as well that it was a guy he expected to have a big season. It was somebody that he felt an instant chemistry with during training camp, during OTAs, during off-season workouts that he and Rashee Rice, all the three of them together. And so they believed that Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown would be this dynamic duo out in the field. And of course, Rashee goes down and Hollywood goes down, and you have to start to figure some things out. And Worthy has to take another step and be kind of this stupendous rookie and take a quicker step forward. But it's only helped them in the long run. You bring up D-Hop and obviously a veteran who can go out there and do some impressive things. And it's come together really well. Noah Gray's had a career year, and it just feels like right now they're clicking at the right time as a core.
Got a question. The run game, something to keep an eye on Christmas?
Yeah, I'm still curious. With Joe Thuney going out to left tackle, it feels like it's kind of changed the dynamic of their run game. You know, Isaiah Pacheco is so adept at getting inside and running violently through the tackles and kind of cross that. Creed Humphrey's one of the best in the league, if not the best right now. And so with Thuney going to the outside, it hasn't quite looked the same. And so I think maybe some consistency if Thuney has to stay there, just getting comfortable with everybody's roles. But the offensive line has figured it out, all things considered, this year with the way they've had to shuffle around and 4 different left tackles. So a work in progress, but I think that as Pacheco gets healthier and Kareem Hunt continues to look like his old self, things will return to normalcy.
Kareem Hunt looks pretty good picking up some of those downs. Does your dad, who's calling, there's familial ties here. We got Watts covering Watts. We've got McCourty's together freezing in Pittsburgh with Laura Rutledge on Netflix Christmas. And you, of course, handling duties for Ravens, Texans. Your dad in the booth with, I believe, J.J. Watt and Nate Burleson handling Chiefs at Steelers kicking off on Netflix on Christmas morning, afternoon, depending on where you are. Does your dad hit you up and say, what did you see about the Chiefs? Is there any sharing of knowledge, notes?
I shot him over our meeting notes, yeah. But other than that, you know, he called me and he said, I don't want to hear anything of what you have to say. I just want to do my own game. Don't tell me, don't influence me. Let me do I've done this for a long time. I've done this since before you were born. No, we go deep dive. And, you know, he's seen all of these teams, I think, a bunch this year. He's basically been the voice of the AFC North, it feels like. He's done every game, Steelers and Ravens and Bengals and Browns. It just feels like he's been around. So I think he's covered on the Steelers. He just had the Chiefs 2 weeks ago, so I don't know how much he really could use my help as is, but I'll be there for any questions you might have.
I was hoping we could create some sort of competition here, an award, a special gift for who has a better broadcast, but I do want to give you some really due credit for your handling of the Tank Dell injury on Saturday. I don't know that there's a right answer, a way to prepare for that, but what is your approach when those really tough, emotional, real human moments happen on live TV?
Yeah, okay, well, first of all, I think the question I've gotten the most, you played the Nickelodeon clip in the beginning. I know you were part of the Madden cast this week. The alternate broadcast injury has to be the most difficult situation in broadcast, because everybody said to me, you know, if the Damar Hamlin situation had happened on Nickelodeon, what would you have done? And I really don't have an answer. I really do not have an answer off the top of my head. It's all reactionary. And so even in the traditional standard broadcast on NBC, the tough part of this situation was he made a spectacular catch for the touchdown and held on. And so the energy levels have to be so different, and the shift from high to low has to be quick, but also you have to give the play its due diligence. And I felt we did that. We called the play as it was, called the impressive touchdown, and then quickly shifted to what was the major concern, which was the injury. And to be honest, when you saw the reaction from CJ Stroud and really the rest of his teammates, it wasn't difficult to try to match that emotion.
It was a really well done moment by you, and we're still waiting to see what's going on with Tank Dell's injury. Of course, wish him all of the best. But it was one of those few times that the internet was like all together and kind and empathetic, and really did give you credit. What's your relationship like with Twitter?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it. I definitely look through it, and I wouldn't say that I'm obsessive over any of it. I don't really post a whole lot. I'm just not. I never have been a big poster. It's just not my thing. I think a lot of people are always asking to see a peek behind the curtain. I think you do a really good job of that. I think a lot of people in our business do a really good job of that. It's not really what's at the forefront of my mind as I get ready for a broadcast. I just try to do whatever the task is at hand. But I definitely look at it and make sure that I keep up to date. And a lot of times, a lot of people are very positive, which is very kind. And there are some people that aren't, but I don't really, it doesn't really get to me. And I think that's always the biggest concern for anybody. And a lot of up and coming broadcasters ask me how to handle it. And I say the same thing. You can look at it, and there are times that you can take something that might be constructive to improve your craft or improve something else about your overall broadcasting aura. But a lot of times you just have to brush it off and laugh it off. And I've had some funny ones over the year. I had a couple years ago, I did an SEC football game, and it was a blowout. And we had Gene Steratore, who came on and was breaking down a touchdown play. And we asked what his Thanksgiving plans looked like. And he said he had a traditional Italian Thanksgiving. And I did a really bad Tony Soprano impression saying, "Oh, time for turkey sandwiches." And somebody said, whoever did that Tony Soprano impression needs to face the North Korean justice system, which I thought was genuinely hilarious, because I was picturing in my head going to North Korea, having them say, "What did you do?" And then I had to say a bad Tony Soprano impression for an SEC audience.
That's it. You know, you're a pro. You seem to handle Twitter and all that comes with it the right way. It's impossible to ignore, because so much of it adds to the narrative. Some narratives are now storylines that you're using in calling a broadcast start and are incepted, and you know, adds context and color throughout the week. I loved this tweet. I was obsessed with like your Twitter mentions and stuff last night. Just, did you ask him, did his dad ever record an argument between both of them, and does it sound as amazing as it does in my head?
Yeah. Or when he would come home and be like, "Clean your room." And I go, "Denied." And then he goes, "Frost over, broken ankles." Yeah, so it was a lot of back and forth between the two of us. And eventually it just reached, I think, him saying, "Iraq attack in his bedroom. No made bed." And it was just over at that point. So yeah, it's a lot of who can top the other one, no doubt.
It's amazing. I do want to say, oh, sorry, we have to move to Netflix. I wanted to talk about how people think you're like 60 years old. Is that the question you get asked most likely? What age do you think your voice sounds?
I don't know. I guess it's a lot of whiskey. I don't really know what does this.
Is that what it is? No, tell me that's true. Is it whiskey?
No, it's not. It's mostly genetics, I think. I really don't know how this happened. I'm very thankful, because it's obviously done me some good.
Yeah.
But no, it is funny. I think that it really happened more so during the Olympics this year, when Dwayne and I were doing a lot of the games, and it started to get some traction. And obviously those games ended up being great. But I saw a lot of tweets like that where we would pop on camera and everyone's like, "I did not think he was going to look like that." I think a lot of people started to think that I was maybe some kind of Benjamin Button type of disease person. So I'll take that as a victory. If I can look younger the rest of my life and sound older, that's a victory for sure.
We have to let you go. I'm so excited about Netflix Christmas with you. I know you have a production call with the Ravens today. What's the question you need answered today?
I want to know the Harbaugh Christmas traditions. I feel like that family has so many amazing traditions. I've got to get to the bottom of what they did for Christmas every year. And did they have like a hearty or who's got it better than us, nobody on December 25th every year? That's my first question for sure.
I love that. Congrats on all of the success. Of course, Big Ten Saturday night play-by-play announcer. You're doing it all for NBC. We've got a rematch of the game that you called between the Ducks and Ohio State on New Year's Day. You have so much going on. I'm so appreciative. Ravens, Texans on Netflix, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Favorite Beyonce song that you need to hear on our way out?
Oh, that is impossible. I'd say maybe Party. Give me Party with Andre 3000. That's a classic.
Did not think that's where you were going to go. Do you even get to watch it?
Oh, come on.
I don't know. 100%. I thought maybe you were like watching tape or like drinking whiskey for your voice or something. No?
Oh, listen, whiskey and Beyonce will be a dynamic combination.
Who's getting up to dance first, you or Greg Olsen?
No, wrong answer. My stats guy and spotter will be the first ones up, and they will be jumping around like we do in Wisconsin.
No, oh my gosh, Noah Eagle, we love you with NBC Sports and Netflix. Happy holidays. I'll see you in a couple days.
Sounds great. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll have Luke Kuechly on the show after this, friend of Greg Olsen as well.